Matthew Stell with QTV. We're here at the Cullen Performance Hall here on campus, where MSNBC's Chris Matthews, as the host of Hardball, will be joined by Democratic candidate for U.S. Senate Beto O'Rourke in a town hall format. We'll be talking with students before and after the town hall to get their take on the town hall itself, if they voted, and any other questions. Dalton, have you voted yet? And why do you think it's important for college students to vote in this election?
Yes, I have voted. I went to early voting. I think it was on last Tuesday, and I think it's really important because I think we're a generation that is striving to see so much change in society that we take part in, and right now is finally the time that we get to do something about it and make a difference, and the best way to do that is to vote.
The invitation to hate openly, unapologetically, to call Mexican immigrants rapists and criminals, to call asylum seekers animals, an infestation, to describe white nationalists, Klansmen, neo-Nazis as very fine people. That has certainly contributed to the environment that we see in this country at this moment. The challenge, though, is not to assess blame, but to try to lead by example. That's what I see here in Houston, the most diverse city in the United States of America. That's what I see in the people of Texas.
Why do you think it's so important to have the voices of college students heard, especially in this election?
The U.S. Congress basically chose to lower the national voting rate age to 18 for a reason. And the reason is because we had people fighting in wars who were that age or even younger. And therefore, it seems to me that adulthood in a lot of criminal courts begins at 18, you know? You're treated as an adult. So you should be, if you're treated as an adult, I think you should be heard as an adult. And that's not piety on my part. We're missing a big voice when young people get into a habit of not voting. And I know how people say that once you got a family, you got an address, and you got a job, you start making a list of responsibilities that you meet every day, and one of them's voting. And something that's missing in the more free-willing life of a student, because you got classes to go to, but there's a lot of freedom.
So have you voted yet? And if so, why do you think it's so important for college students to vote in this election cycle?
Okay, so I have voted. This is my first time voting, which was a really interesting experience since I've never done it before. And fun fact, I just became a citizen of this country like 2 months ago. So I think it was a really cool and big thing for me to vote because I couldn't even do that 2 months ago. And now I'm freshman in college. It's a new experience, new everything. And I'm finally 18 years old, an adult, and the first thing I was able to do is vote in an actual election. So, and it's bringing awareness to all these college students because the amount of people that were here for Beto and just showing that you can make a difference.
I voted the second day. First day, the lines were incredible. Every day, they've been incredible. So yes, no, it's so important for young people to be civically engaged. As a political science major, I care very much about this country and the future of it. I believe that young people should be excited to vote. It's a privilege, it's an honor. There are many countries in the world where people do not get to voice their opinions. So every young person should go out and vote.
What did Mr. O'Rourke, if anything, did he say that was impactful to you on tonight?
One thing I really noticed was the fact that he made a stance on education, and he said that he was for people like me, for college students, for people in K through 12, and funding teachers and such. And that I feel like that's a really big thing because we grow up at least I did grew up in a public education system, and that's what I depended on. My parents didn't pay for private education of some sort, and I graduated as valedictorian in my class, and that was only because of the education provided by the United States. So giving back to that and creating more efficient and productive people to society, I think that's a really big thing that he stands for.
So why did you come to the town hall tonight?
Well, I love Beto O'Rourke. You know, he's a guy that I've grown with, marched with, seen him how he interacts with people, and I just know that he's the type of person we need as our senator of Texas. And I just really think that, humanitarianism is one thing that he holds as a key value, and seeing just how he interacts with people, rich, poor, young, old, is so important because we need more of that in our political structure. We need people that actually come to these communities. He's traveled to all 254 counties in Texas, one by one, person by person. And I just see, how much of just an amazing guy he is. I love Beto. Yeah.
Surprisingly, here at the town hall, there were no protesters, but just passionate students who came to hear their candidate for U.S. Senate. I'm Matthew Stell with QTV.